It's the Cable Show.
Do I have any plans post 365? I've got a few, yeah. First thing I'm going to do is take a couple days and just go out in the woods. Somewhere local here in Madison. Just like get away from the computer and phones and everything for a bit. Should be good, should be healthy. Yeah, I'll grab an Onslaught Pride. I'll give me a Shieldred too. There's a lot of black here. You can probably end up fighting a bit, but that doesn't matter that much. Ooh, a Parallax Wave. And then there's a couple of trips that I have planned. I'm going to a music festival in Romania for my honeymoon, and I'm really looking forward to that. Romania seems dope. Looking forward to the food and the booze, the historical sites, the gorgeous countrysides with good hiking, the castles. The town with the music festival itself seems like a really dope venue. It's like built around these this ancient Roman citadel. And there's a bunch of pre-Roman ruins right nearby, like within a couple of hours. In between the city that we're going to the fest at and the main castle that we want to see. There's all these old Dacian ruins. Should be sick. And then we got a day planned to just go to this like giant spa. The spa in question has like 11 different saunas or something. My wife loves saunas, so that should be dope. I'll probably join her for like 1 or 2 and then get some delicious drinks and just like chill at the pool. I'm gonna grab that jacked rabbit. I'm gonna jerk a rabbit right here in front of y'all. Hope that's okay. Haven't had a nice rabbit jorkin stream in a bit. And yeah, the other trip I was planning is a trip to Montana. Also around a metal festival. The last headliner is actually getting announced tomorrow. I'm pretty stoked about it. But I found out about the festival because 16 Horsepower, this like gothic rock folk band. I actually have a bunch of their tracks on my folk playlist. But they're coming back from the dead. They haven't played a show in like over 20 years. And they're one of the headliners. And the fest itself seems amazing. Just like the prettiest section of, the United States, really. And that'll be nice. Also, like, getting out in the woods, getting out in nature. I don't think I'm even going to be able to get cell reception at the festival. That'll be nice. This is a sweet couple of options, huh? I really value a good mana base, which makes the Vantage tempting, but I'm actually going to grab the Luminarch here. And the reason I'm going to draft the Luminarch, besides the fact that it's a good card, is it pairs really well with both of my current creatures. Help the Ocelot Pride get in through whatever their blocker is, or help jork up this rabbit and get more 1/1s. Hell yeah, right? Yeah, I've never been to like a dedicated spa. Apparently this one is like less spa-ish because it's so huge. But if you get there early in the morning, you can still book massages and stuff. I don't know if we're going to do any of that. Because she's mostly interested in the wide variety of delightful saunas. I'm mostly interested in the the delicious beverages and the dope pools. Is there an amount of money that could get me to stream on day 366? Oh, yeah. Not even that much. Yeah. Man's got trips to pay for it, right? Yeah, my honeymoon doesn't start on day 366, so I can do another day. What are we talking? Guess I'm just grabbing a sash for the sideboard. Skydiver would be reasonable. Little Containment Priest, Parallax Wave action. I wonder if it is mono white, huh? How often do I draft mono white? Red seems not very open at all, huh? Hey, Ming Pack, thanks for the sub. Thanks for the 17 months. You have this Prime sub laying around. I can have it. I appreciate it, Ming. How many subs was the original price of the 365? Which one? The one that I'm currently doing? The very first 365 I did back in 2016, Twitch Prime subs were not a thing, and I was a much smaller streamer. But I wasn't like destitute. I actually had like a month. I had like a month of savings from a previous thing that I was doing, a game that I'd worked on. And I was like, I could actually afford to put some time into this streaming thing. So I set the sub goal as like a test to make sure that people were interested before I committed. And it was a very modest 100 subs. Probably more like 150 subs in today's, because of the Twitch Prime subflation. Anyway, I was telling that story about the first 365 when someone in chat was like, how many subs would it take to do one now? And I think the answer I gave was 3,000, which I thought was not a hittable thing because I've never been close to 3,000 subs. Back in 2018, 2019, when my viewership was like at its peak, I think 2018, yeah. 2018, my viewership was at its very peak. And I was streaming a ton. And I think after a really good month, a really good holiday season, I think I cracked 2,000 subs. And then since then, I've dwindled down a bit and been hovering around 1K. So I did not think that 3,000 subs was a thing that we were going to reach in the foreseeable future. And then a bunch of people, mostly 3 huge donors, dipped into their wallets and were like, we're doing this thing. I was like, all right, I guess we're doing this thing. Anyway, people have asked me if I've regretted doing this 365, and while there are certainly times during the 365 where I've regretted being a streamer and existing and getting out of bed, and I haven't really regretted doing the 365 because of the time that I accepted it. I needed some dollar dues, and chat came through. So, like, why would I regret that, right? It's same as anybody else with any other job. Yeah, I'm gonna grab this figure. I do like Bombardment, but I don't think we're actually Boros. Well, maybe. Athari and Headliner Scarlet are a pretty sexy splash. I'm just gonna grab this Caracas, though. Caracas wins some games on its own, too. A little Feely action, sure. Okay. Hacksaw237 says, we now have a pre-modern night at the LGS I go to. Want to build a deck? Do you enjoy the format? Pre-modern? I very much do, yeah. Pre-modern and Pauper are the 2 formats that I have gauntlets for. So I have a wide variety of decks available. If anybody ever wants to jam in paper, we can like jam decks against each other. If I ever want to lend a deck out in those formats, I've got options to lend people. Yeah, unless your jam is Planeswalkers or maybe like Fire Design specifically, where every card has way too much text on it. There's probably something in there for you in regards to pre-modern. Think about that Ancient Tomb. Think about Calder Complete, too. I guess there's a FOMO here. We have a lot of 2s already, though. I'll grab Calder in case we see Stoneforge. Hexing Squelcher, making 4th Aerolingus uncounterable could be sick. But yeah, Pre-Modern's got a very diverse meta. A lot of options as far as control and combo and aggro decks and mixtures of all of those, right? Is May 7th the last day of the 365? Ooh, Bombardment Wield. I mean, it's whatever 49 days is from now. It sounds like a May 7th. Yeah, May 7th would be the last day. Didn't they ban Tide recently? Was that a good change? Yeah, I think so. Tide kind of forced out slower mid-range nonsense. I think having those decks be viable is good for the format. I really like Torture Pit with Bombardment, but I'm going to grab that Plateau. I'm not above a Plateau. A 24-hour stream. The last time I attempted a 24, I got to like the 21st or 22nd hour, and I was like, I'm too old for this. Good night. and just dipped out. I thought that'd be kind of funny into the 365. Just do 364 and call it. Too tired. I quit. You're gonna bake me a cake, Ratifius? I would love that. I'm sure my wife would too. If she gets any. 365 candles. I have attempted that before. I told my wife about that, and she was like, you cannot burn the house down. And I'm like, but I got tile flooring in here. There's no way I could burn the house down. What kind of cake do we like? I think if you stay away from like the heavier chocolate stuff, you can't really go wrong. We like citrusy things, like strawberries too, like cheesecakes. You really can't go. I'm just gonna like list cakes. This is gonna be me here like listing cakes for the rest of the stream. If you want me to list all the cakes I like. A little flage action. I'm getting excited now, Ratifius. I'm getting excited about this cake. How often does someone just offer to bake you a cake? I must live a truly blessed life. A couple filler cards here. I might just grab a fetch. Fetches are nice with a flage. Get more cards in the bin to rebuy it. Okay, we need like 6 more playables. 6-ish. Oh, I believe you, Ratifius. I don't just go around accepting cakes lightly. 24-hour cake listing stream. It's like the shrimp scene from Forrest Gump. I'm just listing types of cake. So I could have another 1-drop. I'd like the Witch Enchanter a little bit better if I'd grabbed that Flicker Wisp earlier. I almost grabbed the Flicker Wisp earlier because we got Containment Priest, and that's a synergy, right? The Flicker Wisp can just be a removal spell with Containment Priest down. I think I'm going to grab Carnage Interpreter. That Leyline Binding is almost interesting. We have a Zwei Triome here. Maybe I should open 365 packs of Alpha on the last day. If you donate 365 packs of Alpha, I will open them on stream on the last day just for you. That'd be a hell of a way to close out the stream. Are there even 365 Alpha packs in the wild? Oh, I'm sure there are. Some Wizard's Vault. BK knows where I'm at? Oh, yeah. BK is literally a... he's very close to me. Because we both live right next to Misty. But yeah, if you need my address, you can certainly ping me on Discord or Blue Sky or something. I'm not hard to find. Man, we really have nothing going on turn 1. I've had this happen before in Boros. All the 1-drops are so premium. With that 1 Ocelot Pride. The gap between 1 and 2 wouldn't be so important if we had like a Mox or 2, right? So we could skip the 1-drop sometimes. But we don't. But like a Chrome Mox would go really hard here. Brian Cowell. Brian Cowell is the BK that is being discussed. I think Beckstrom lives out on the West Coast. Brian Cowell is well known in the pre-modern scene, and he was known on the pro scene way back in the day. He was one of those old heads. Big fan of The Rock and Junk and stuff, those kinds of decks. And is the owner of Misty Mountain Games here in Madison. One of the main people behind CubeCon as well. I think I might play that Lion Sash in the main deck just to make sure that the Stoneforge has a backup thing to grab in case we naturally draw the Cauldron Complete. Is Misty still out at Cottage Grove Road? I believe so. I don't pay attention to the name of the road. I'm almost certain that's what it is, though. Yeah, Cottage Grove. Brian Cowell is a good dude. He really is, yeah. When I was sick with COVID, I was single at the time, and I could not go get my medication, my Paxlovid. And Brian was the one person that I could think of that lived near me, and he's just like, oh, no problem, absolutely. He goes, he like fucking stands in line some hellish amount of time. When I got better, I was like, man, that meant so much to me. If you ever need anything, just ask. And he's like, I didn't do you a favor because I wanted a favor back, right? I knew that you'd do the same for me. Ooh. Pretty good way to look at things. Non-transactional. Did he feed me like a baby bird? He did not. He would have, though. We got both figures here. The figure duo. The deck looks like it could kick the tits off a pig. Incredible. Going from East Coast to Midwest game stores was kind of shocking. They're massive out here. The game stores? Yeah. Misty's a really good one, too. They upgraded the seats there pretty recently. It's just like a really pleasant place to sit and game. Huge amount of like other game options and stuff. Good drink and snack options. Those are, real pleasant place to chill and play some Magic the Gathering or board games or what have you. Draft some cube, do whatever. The Lion Sash is what I really want to cut, but like I said, I do want a second equipment for the Stoneforge. Could cut this Squelcher, I suppose. Just board again against removal and counter heavy decks. This is 8 red and 12 white. We have these double reds here. I think we want to even that out a little bit. $11-9. Never forget. Oh, we get another land. Okay, cool. All right. Overlay updated. Turn 1 cat dropped. Game looks reasonable. No, my cat! Usually I want to jork up that rabbit a little bit instead of running out an unjorked rabbit. But with this 4th Aer Lingus, I think there's a solid chance Then I just like fire it off to grab the monarchy here instead of playing a jorked up rabbit. When do you run 16 versus 17 in your Boros decks? I mean, this deck has like some mana sinks, right? Between the 4th and the Jacked Rabbit. And draw engines and stuff, so we're kind of unlikely to just flood a bejeebus. But we also have like a relatively tight curve. I think if we had more 1-drops... then maybe I'd play 16. A lot of value in our mana base too. This Air Temple, which is also mana intensive. Uh-oh. Yeah, the Nightmare is an Archon. They entombed for Blightsteel Colossus. That kind of makes me think that they've got a Corpse Dance in hand, and they did not realize how Blightsteel works. Yeah, Blightsteel is a replacement effect, so you cannot Corpse Dance it. Little shame concession there. You live, you learn. Nothing wrong with that. We do have some graveyard hate. We have a Containment Priest and Lion Sash. They're very slow. They're very slow hate. So hopefully they don't just murk us. One way to do it, but involves rules fuckery in a way that Vintage Cube doesn't have right now. Yeah. I have seen a Progenitus in the graveyard in Vintage Cube. And that one involved manifesting, which I don't think current Cube has. There is a... While Humility is not a current powered Cube card, there is the 1 in a blue enchantment that people pair with Dreadnought. That one could get a Blightsteel into the graveyard to Corpse Dance it. Kind of a long side quest, though, huh? Dress down, yeah. Did I stick my tongue out at you? No, it was at Dave here.
He wasn't in the room yet.
It was an expectant tongue stick out.
Okay, well, that's fair enough.
Thanks for dinner, babe.
You're welcome.
I now have a very attentive little doggy in front of me. Okay, he's taking off. Because I was just gifted some Din Din. Oko? Yeah, Oko could do it. It sounds like there's a few ways to get a Blightsteel in the graveyard. Chat sussed them all out. Certainly not an easy feat, though. You'd like to get a pet someday, but you wouldn't know how to approach one that isn't food motivated. Oh, in my experience, they're all food motivated. I would probably also not know what to do. I kind of want to absent that Prism, but... the ones that aren't food motivated just want, like, pets and attention. Does Sir Barrington have any pets? Sir Barrington has a noble steed. Sir Steedley. Which sounds like a made-up name, but it is coming from the same mind that named himself Sir Barrington, so consideration to mull this hand? Nah. It's not good, but like neither are the other hands in this deck. So if you're mulliganing, you're looking for like same hand minus a card, or maybe you get lucky and have an Ocelot Pride. If this deck had a couple Moxen in it, absolutely ship it. Go find something better. If your deck doesn't really have anything better, it's like, no, we're doing this. I've defeated my dinner. We're probably dead here, but we're not technically dead quite yet. Mana Leak makes Squelcher a little better, maybe. Not that much better, just a little better. Maybe this Portable Hole's no good. I was thinking the Light Shatter could be in. Hell yeah, Noble Rooster. Buddy. Ooh. My wife is so good to me. Most of the time, Dave has only been able to like traverse the stairs for a few days, like half a week or something. And so far, most of the time that he's come to visit, he's just been like content to nap by my feet and chill, which has been awesome. But today, he has been a little frisky and demanding, which is, you know, distracting. But the great Mrs. DMTG just came and snagged him. Oh, I just saw the Bartaboo's gifted sub. Congrats to Mayo Squirt. Big cheers. Thanks, Bartaboo's. I'm out of water. My opponent's not quite here. Maybe a good time for me to grab some water. Oh, okay. I'm still gonna get water. I've only seen a rattlesnake once. Little rooster. We were on some cross-country road trip. I think I was in Arizona. Some park. Just running around. Maybe it was New Mexico. I don't know. It was one of those states. Anyway, I was just running around being a little hooligan. I came around the corner, and there's this huge fucking snake, like, stretched out. And I caught it sunbathing. And it licked out its fucking tongue right next to my foot, and I did the most cartoonish ass. Like, you know, in the cartoons, like if like Bugs Bunny or the pig guy, you know, any of them, if any of those cartoon like Looney Tunes ass characters saw a snake and got startled, they would like go vertically in the air and their legs would spin into a whirlwind and they'd go pew like off in another direction. I like literally did that in real life. Was not in control of my body whatsoever. Yeah, straight up Scooby-Dooed it out. That's probably a bad block. They probably have some instant that grows it. Apparently there's some rattlesnakes here in Wisconsin, but you have to really go out of your way to find them. They're like on the southwestern border of the state. I assume they want to leave their creatures in the graveyard. Well, they did return Grizzlebrand to hand. You can Pyromancer here and get some staff counters, or you can Carnage Interpreter and get a bunch of clues. Pyromancer's a little bit better against the Archon Edict. Staff does only care about creature tokens, yeah. When I was a kid, I grew up in the country, and we used to catch gardeners and red bellies for fun. I guess I do this. Awesome. When you take off your tarp for your garden in the spring, you enjoy seeing little snakes run away? Yeah. Little harmless friends. It was cool, like, lifting up a random log or something and finding, like, a big ball of snakes. They're cold-blooded, but they still don't want to freeze to death. I guess they still do preserve some heat, clustering together like that. No graveyard hate here, which makes me think that we're going to get rocked. But who knows? We do have this Parallax Wave that might be helpful. I think I'm going to get to bed at a reasonable time tonight. Yeah, 4th for 1 and getting in there is an option. I think there's a good chance they have a counter anyway. Kind of like chilling and just drawing a card with the staff. Then maybe I can like 4th and level up figure, find another white source, as well as set up the eventual parallax wave. Oh, interesting, I'm Rando. I'm Rando with the fucking knowledge. We learned to call them exotherms versus endotherms. Some, quote, cold-blooded animals are really good at modulating their temperature, which is why some of them incubate their eggs. Huh. Fair enough. There's a reasonable chance I get flashed on after I activate, but so it goes. It's a tarp. Thunder Trap Trainer. Bitter Triumph. Okay. Well, that's a fine answer to this figure. So Stoneforge can go get my my graveyard hate, but I'm not gonna have white up. Oh, they didn't bin on Fatty anyway. I'm protecting the life total a little bit. Red mana. We're breaching. Annoying. So we actually have a 2-turn clock here. Assuming no nastiness from the opponent. And we know they have a Bitter in hand. Bitter Triumph. That didn't get discarded, did it? They are 1 mana away from hardcasting Archon. Could be something that we see here. Nice. Not often you win through an Emrakul Annihilator, huh? That Stoneforge Mystic really pulled through. Good stuff. I first really got into... The first time I watched Star Trek, I was a small child watching the original series with my dad. I was just like 4 and 5, you know, and remembering it as like fever dreams, you know. It was kind of fun to go back and watch those old episodes as an adult and get a better sense of the plot and such. But I didn't really get into Star Trek until COVID hit. And then it was very nice to have a positive look at the future, you know, like an optimistic view of the future. And I started with The Next Generation, because that was on Netflix with an HD remaster. And at first, I bounced off Deep Space Nine because going from the high def remaster to the blurry 90s show was rough. That was rough for me. But then my eyes slowly got worse and the world got a little bit more blurrier. now I don't mind as much. Handsome Tom 21 thanks for the sub, thanks 113 months. They didn't add any voice dialogue to Voyager. You were hearing they might. Oh, okay. I mean, maybe they did. But The last I heard, there wasn't any. Let's just fucking... Uh-oh. They're tinking. So Portal might be the worst one for us, but Blightsteel might be hard to beat here too. Battlesphere is beatable. We can beat a Battlesphere. That was fantastic. And now if we hit a land, the Figure of Destiny is just lethal. You hope every deck in Vintage Cube could beat a Battle Ball. Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on when you face it, right? Rat round. I thought they were gonna either triple block the voice or quad block the figure. Quad blocking the figure is tempting just because they are at 7 and the land kills them. But you're right, they certainly should have traded a mirror token for the voice. Tez finding Everflowing Chalice. I guess the plan is to recast Mirror Battlesphere. It's been a long time since I've fully leveled a Figure of Destiny. Beautiful. Fucking beautiful. I've cast a lot of Figure of Destinies in my day. I guess a lot of people did from that standard period. It was a pretty common card. First Pro Tour I played on was Extended, and I played Figure of Destiny in that. Commando over just Sash. My stories are cyclical music. I only have so many. I need to take some years off streaming and go do something and come back with some fresh stories. You can't really make stories as a streamer. You like the Claws of Gix story? The Claws of Gix story happened during my very first Vintage tournament. And I had a solid amount of Legacy experience, so I just looked through the Vintage meta and was looking for something close to a Legacy deck. Found Landstill. It's perfect. I've played this in Legacy. I know what almost all these cards do. No problem. And I could figure out what every card in the deck was for, except for the sideboard Claws of Gix. And I was like, well, I'm sure it'll become obvious later on in the tournament. I played some Control Mirrors. I beat up on some aggro decks and stuff. Cruise through to the top 8. My top 8 opponent is playing Doomsday, and the Doomsday kill at the time involved a stack where your second to last card is Mind's Desire, and then your last card was Beacon of Destruction, which is a 5-mana, deal 5 damage to somebody, and then it shuffles back into your deck. So they just Mind's Desire for a very small amount. The stack of 5 cards from Doomsday is enough to kill with this, right? As opposed to Tendrils, which needs a much higher storm count or something to win that way. Anyway, they combo me out with that and deal me exactly 20 in the first game. And I'm looking at my sideboard, I'm like, well, Claws of Gix is a free artifact that I can gain life. Maybe this is what it's for. And I boarded in. I don't see a game 2, but I beat him with regular, just a pile of counters and stuff. And then game 3, he mulls on the play, tanks, and then goes turn 1 Dark Ritual Doomsday. And I go turn 1, drop some fast mana into play, some Chrome Moxes, not Chrome Mox, but some regular Moxen and stuff, and my Claws of Gix, and pass the turn. And so the reason the reason that there's Claws of Gix in the sideboard was for Oath of Druids, which I did not play against all day, so I never like really learned it at the time. And Oath of Druids is a control deck that gives your opponent creatures so they can trigger their oath and go find the thing. There's not a ton of regular creatures going around in Vintage, so you give your opponent a creature to trigger the oath and stuff. But if you have a sack outlet, then you beat that strat, right? You can just not have a creature in play. And in the land still deck, you can beat them down to death with your creature lands. As the plan. I didn't know that. I was just like, this seems like a good spot for some life gain. Anyway, I play the Claws of Gix, and my opponent just sits there without saying anything for like several minutes. And then they start raging harder than I've ever seen anybody rage about how they just needed like one more storm. And they were like, I was just like the worst fucking player to have ever boarded this in. And I, at the time, was like, I don't know, 14, 15. I was like a child. And I was used to older people not being able to take a loss very well. so he's like raging at me. And from my perspective, I'm just like, okay, so you're salty. So what? Sign the slip, please. Would you please sign the slip? And I didn't figure out what the Claws of Gix were for like a long time after that, another year or two or something. But yeah, I don't know. Very rare that I've seen anyone that tilted. Hey, well, watch streak there, Spawn. A hobo masterman says fuck for the fuck ice god with a watch string. 25 and a rooski. Right, Robo? Yeah, everyone's playing a card game. And we're all putting ourselves in the best position possible to win said card game. But at the end of the day, that's what you're getting mad about. A 30% versus a 70% or something. Or a 45 versus a 55, or who knows, I gotta say, this all doesn't seem great for me. Now, they're probably going to kill the voice, but they can't add a counter to the Ballista and use that mana to play a counter spell, so it's still right to play the voice first, I think. Yeah, no way to avoid getting 2-for-1, right? Because we had the Containment Priest down. Very possible I should have just jorked a big rabbit here. Might not even be a slower clock with this abandoned, huh? We get the land to activate after making a bunch of rabbits. Kind of waiting to get balanced. I guess Carnage Interpreter is not the worst balance follow-up. Oh yeah, Rami Ray? I'd be happy with some jork chicken. You just gotta tell her that the secret ingredient was love. The other kind. Hell yeah, Larry the Boss. Yeah, it was really warm here today, too. Gorgeous weather. Went on a nice walk earlier. Oh, they're tinking. But the battle sphere is turned off. Tutored up a mountain. What red card could get them back into this? Dax stealing Cauldron doesn't save them. Oh, they drew the portal. Important to keep the Containment Priest because it does prevent the portal from getting creatures back. We had a land, so we did have lethal that turn with the land adding some 1/1 counters. Good shit, excellent shit. Second trophy of the day, 2 out of 3, not bad. Not bad. Don't let anyone tell you that that would be bad. They're wrong. They're liars is what they are. All right, I need to stretch my legs for a sec. I'll be back in a few minutes. See you all soon. We'll fire up this next draft. Next draft of Ruski.